Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounters Guild. We're playing Blades in the Dark tonight, going back to where we left off last week. This week, we're bringing in Kevin, new member of the crew.
Well, an old member of the crew, I think.
Old member of the guild, but a new member of the crew. But
I could probably pull up the crew sheet, huh?
Yeah, I was technically originally part of it, but I didn't play any of the original stuff that we did.
So yes, we're here tonight. I get the honor and privilege of playing with some of my favorite people and Brett.
Well, I'm honored, Scott.
I was gonna say, I guess I should go.
So let's go around the horn. I am Guildmaster Scott. I run the Random Encounters Guild. Feel free to join us over there on Discord. We jump from system to system, play a bunch of different games, and very welcoming group. We're really welcoming to new GMs. Our GMs looking to try new systems. You'll always find players there. It's a good group. Kick it over to Kev.
I'm Mjolnir Press in the chat. I've been with the Random Encounters Guild for a couple of years now. You can see me every other Sunday trying to run our group through Dragonbane.
Lovingly.
Lovingly, yes. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say for right now. I'm gonna pass it along to someone else that's important.
Brett.
Hi, I'm Brett. I go by A-Word on most socials and here on Twitch. I stream D&D every other Sunday. Get into other tabletop games sometimes too. Have Tales of the Valiant game that's been on hiatus for a little while, so I have to get back into, which another person here, Jenna, played in. But yes, so hopefully we'll get back to that soon. But otherwise, play on a couple other channels too, and Random Encounters Guild for a while. Like Scott said, a bunch of great guys and girls here, and great place to play some games.
And our GM, Jenna.
So real quick, some housekeeping. Allie is also in this game. She will be joining us in a couple minutes. So I'm going to speak for Allie first. Okay. Hey guys, I'm Allie Capone. I'm one of the co-founders of FGP. So that's Allie. You'll see her when she gets here. She's
She
great.
usually talks about Stream Loot's cards, which we're not using.
Pokemon cards.
Well, no, the Streamlabs thing in chat says Pokemon. Look, anyway, the point is, Allie is here. She's just will be like fully here in a second. I am Jenna. I'm also one of the co-founders of FGP. I am running this game. I really love Blades in the Dark, and I am frequently the one pushing us to play, even though all of our schedules like never line up. But mostly the reason that we are playing this right now on stream, besides the fact that we just want to, is because Allie's going to be running Girl by Moonlight here coming on Sunday. So we're trying to get a little bit more practice in specifically. So as much as possible, we're going to try and, I don't know, use mechanics of the game.
Yay, tech demo. Yay, tech demo.
Yes, exactly. So there is that. Before I get into like the synopsis of what we've had going on here, can we just do a quick sound test? Can you hear everybody? Is our audio fairly level? Are some people quiet? Are some people loud? We might as well just get that out of the way right now before we like get all the way into it.
Is there anyone that's watching the stream that's not one of us?
That's not a bot.
Bot? Possibly. I don't know. Well, for now, we're just going to assume that everything's great and lovely and wonderful. So I will go ahead and recap for us. Not a war. Perfect. Thanks, Net, for that. or Norts, I guess we should call you. Anyway, last time with the carrion crew, our ragtag band of smugglers who just finished, literally to avoid the poorhouse, did a job on a black market auction in order to sneak in, get literally anything they could sell, and then get back out of there because the rent is due, my friends. And not long after that happens, a blue coat approaches them, blackmailing them that he knows that they are the ones that did this, and if they want to stay not in Iron Hook, which is the prison in Dustfall, then they're going to have to do some work for him. And by some work, I mean his dirty work that he does not want to do. So the crew finds themselves in a mansion, probably not a haunted mansion, right? Where some crime, question mark, has happened. The patriarch of a family died, and there was a 24-hour lock-in clause in his will. Whoever's left at the end splits the whole inheritance. Not even 24 hours later, everyone is dead except one, Daryl, who leads with a bag of unknown, probably inheritance, we guess, and then later is found dead in this very house. So now we have a big empty mansion, and nobody's owned it. And has a crime actually been committed? And is it even really safe to go in there? And kind of what's going on? And this blue coat, Hendren, I think his name was, just really does not want to be the one to have to find that out. So he sent you because you're expendable. So last we left off, Allie, while we're waiting, could you please go grab Henrietta for me? Last we left off, you have found yourself in a private study in the basement. You have gone through all the bookcases, all the shelves. We did a little montage where you found a bunch of, secret hiding compartments and stuff. All the things you would expect in a very Clue-esque sort of mansion. And we left off, you were all staring at something on the desk after this, basically raiding through the room. And you're all just looking at this thing, Allie's character holding Henrietta. So I'm going to pause there, and the first thing I want to do is hop over to Kevin real quick. Kevin, I want you to introduce your character, and then you and I are going to talk for a little bit. And then when we come back with everybody, as your characters sort of come into the scene, then I want everyone else to introduce your own characters and who you are and what you are to the group, and maybe a sentence or two about your personality or quirks or whatever. Okay? All right. So Kevin, we'll start with you. Who are you playing tonight?
I am playing Jack R. Quint. He's a leech. He's a very stylish fellow wearing a nice trench coat, a collared shirt with no sleeves to show off the guns, and he's got an eye patch, and his body's covered with these writhing, tattoos and stuff like that. He's a real spoopy guy, really into the mixing things and making weird things and drinking weird things and trying to open up his third eye and find the truth.
Great. Perfect. That sounds like a very reasonable man to have on a team of smugglers. So this is a flashback is what we're doing right now. Essentially because Kevin was not able to join us last time, so instead of just saying he just walks in the room, we're gonna here's how you get here sort of thing. So the score that everyone else is on is obviously an occult score. Obviously. So I want you to have the opportunity to do your own gather information, and then I want you to get your own engagement roll. This is not how the game works, but I don't care. This is how I'm doing it. And then depending on your engagement roll, will kind of pull you into where everybody else is. So that's what we're doing real fast. You'll see on your sheet, you have some gather information questions, and those are sort of what the leech You know, the kind of questions that the leech asks. So you can tell me what you're trying to do to gather information about this. I will tell you that Allie's character already went to the essentially the morgue where the spirit wardens had taken Daryl's body and had made friends with the secretary there to get extra information. But so she had a little information on Daryl and how Daryl died. Scott and Brett, do you remember what your gather information was? Brett, I think you made a friend, or you called a friend who was one of the guards, and he turned out to be a cultist, and it turned out that all of the guards were in this cult.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
and then Scott, you cased the joint?
Yeah, I went in, like that's what Eddie does. Is he always?
So Scott got familiar with the house. Allie got familiar with the body. Brett got familiar with the guards. So those are things that you kind of already know a little bit about. There are other bodies and deaths or whatever. They didn't really look into the family or what the family does or what they're known for or how many people or anything like that. They didn't really look into like Daryl himself, like what he does for a living or any of those things. They kind of found out that there are some occult ties, but didn't really look into like what those were. So there are still opportunities to learn more information if you want to. Or if you're just like, heck it, let's go punch some ghosts, then your thing can just be like, I down a beer and then walk out the door. That is also okay.
Well, one of my gather information questions is what's really going on here. So I figure that check into because everyone showing up, being in the house and just everyone except for one person's dead, and then that person is dead not too long after. Maybe look at it from an occult angle if there is any rogue spirits in the area or cults that are doing anything or any of that kind of stuff that might be give me an
Okay.
idea of what we could what we would might be dealing with inside the house.
That is a very good question. What's actually going on here? Because let me tell you, you guys don't know. So I can definitely there is information to be had in that sector. So my next question then is, what are you doing to gather this information? If you're trying to look specifically for occult things, obviously you can roll a tune, but like, what does that look like? Are you trying to talk to occult connections? Are you like what's the means of gathering this information, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Well,
Are you just going to do a bunch of drugs about it and see what the peyote tells you?
I mean, I could do that. I could just be like, oh, I'm gonna, sit out in front of the house and set up a little bowl of incense and just have a good time, man. Just feel the vibes.
In these games, you're supposed to do something other than outside the norm for your personal life. You're supposed to try.
Yeah, you're not playing yourself, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm not a just listen to the vibes kind of person. I am definitely the opposite of that kind of person. So
no, but I have noticed like I'm reading through your character sheet and I'm like, is this man related to Quigley?
I think
yes.
It probably. Thinking about it, I'm like, I probably should have just made him, and then like, I don't know if I created him before Quigley or
let's
not.
get back into it here. Let's see what we're looking at. You have Tinker, you have Consort. Those are pretty good ones. All right. Roll me. Kevin, is this your first time playing Blades in the Dark?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
That's completely fine. That is completely fine.
So it's just like when he's running Dragonbane.
Yeah, pretty much.
How Blades in the Dark works is you tell me the action that you're taking, and then explain to me why it would be the role that you want. the DM doesn't. It's not like in other games where the
It's
DM
not like
tells you.
give me an insight check. Yeah.
Right. It's not like
Uh,
so, but that's okay. This time, because this is your first time, I'm gonna help you a little bit. All right. I want you to roll consort, and what you're doing right now is you are going to talk to a friend at the paper. So that's your consort. That's what you're doing. You're going to go talk to someone at the Daily Dusk, a friend that you have there, and you are going to find out, just kind of about this family, about this guy Daryl. Like, has the family made the news? Anything interesting about him? So that's this will be a good place to start for you. So how this works, you have two in consort, so you roll 2 dice, and you are looking for the highest number. You don't add them together. Whatever the highest number on your dice is what we do.
okay, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to my buddy Kent Clark and see what he has to say. That's a 4.
That's a 4. All right, 4 and 5 is a
Mixed
mixed
success.
success. You get some information, but there's also a complication, and um, I know exactly what this complication is going to be.
Boy.
You don't need an engagement roll, sir. I know your complication. So you go talk to your friend Kent Clark. You know what? Put him on your character sheet. I'm happy. There's a little section for clever friends. You can absolutely put Kent Clark or Clint Clark or whatever you want to name him on your character sheet. You know someone at the Daily Dusk. You go talk to him. He doesn't have like super much information on the family. They sort of keep to themselves. They are known as collectors. They're the kind of people that they're rich people, right? Like rich people are weird. It's not really out of the ordinary that a rich family collects weird stuff. Like what else are you gonna do with all that money, right? But they're not the kind of family that's been in the news for like, buying up houses or polluting the river or anything really particularly extra heinous or anything. I mean, yeah, they're rich people, but they're like just rich people. But while you are there, um, you and your friend Clark are sorting through some of these, articles, and you're looking through the newspapers and stuff. I imagine you're in this like dimly lit room that smells like old books, and you've got like newspapers spread everywhere, and some of them are like pinned up with a red string.
Of course, yeah.
Someone's got a magnifying glass, the whole deal. You notice in the obituary section there is a missing person. Not the obituary section, in the classifieds. There's a missing person report for someone named whatever his name is. Someone pull up a random name generator and give me his name.
Warren Flintstock.
Warren Flintstock. Perfect. And Warren, you notice, looks just like Daryl. And you double take because you're like, wait a minute, that's a picture of Daryl. That's who I'm looking for. And then you look and it says Warren, and you're like, that's not who I'm looking for, I guess. So the rest of your crew is already on the way over there, and they told you that this is probably going to be a pretty easy breezy in and out sort of deal because everybody in the house is dead except the guards, and the guards are, at least one of them is friends with you, so it's not like, it's going to be very hard. So you're like, yeah, I'll meet up with you in a bit. So you're standing here holding this picture of Warren Flintstock going,
Classic evil twin. Classic evil twin.
classic evil twin. That's exactly what you have found. And we kind of, the camera pans up over the streets as we see you like running towards Brightstone, where this mansion is, to meet up with your friends. And we're going to cut back from there to everybody else in this room. I would like to first, like I said, start with your characters and what you look like and who you are and everything. So Scott, who are you playing tonight? Who is it that is staring at this desk in this study?
I am playing Eddie the Hawk Hawkins. He is a lurk. He's the best cat burglar in Duskfall. Um, Speaking of best cat burglar in Duskfall, we didn't level up last time. And we're not leveling up this time. Come on, Jenna.
No
That's
levels
not
up.
how Blades works.
You don't do the questions at the beginning of each. I thought there was XP dealt.
There is, so you get XP when you fail, but you also get XP at the end of the score.
Oh, okay. He is tall, lanky, black-headed, wearing a trench coat and a pork pie hat and dark lenses, like dark brown sunglasses. Looks a lot like Bruce Willis.
Don't we all?
In one way or another, yes, we do. But he, yeah, he's the sneaky cat burglar of the group.
All right, Brett, who are you playing? Who is next to the hawk staring at this desk?
I am playing I am playing Christoph Kiel, who goes by
Peebo Jorts.
Peebo Jorts. Yes.
What did you almost say?
I wasn't. I had to read my notes again. I was gonna say Pablo, but
Pablo
Pablo would be
Jorts.
better than Peebo.
So
Andale.
yes. So he is a cutter. So he's kind of the fighter. He's an ex prison ship guard that's a little too into gambling and got thrown off of one too many ships and wound up with this crew. Kind of tries the tough guy of the bunch and everything like that. Tries to go for the next score to see where he can get money to fuel his addiction, but yeah. And then he got too close to a desk and his one arm is a little bloodied right now. But
You got eaten by a plant that tried to suck all of the blood out of your body.
yes. So
Normal
is-
and fine.
yeah.
And Allie, who are you playing tonight? And also, who's your friend?
Oh, yes. So tonight I'm going to be playing Dacia Laurent, also known as Netto. I am going to take a little bit of time to get back in the accent. We're getting there slowly, though. So I, too, am a leech, but a little bit different. I'm much more interested in terms of the human body and the way that certain substances and spirits can interact with human biology. So it's fine if you get shot. It's okay. If injuries, it's fine. I stitch you up. If you're lost, then we just have some more parts for science and the greater good. So it's win-win situation. And this here is my darling Henrietta. I found her just now. She's a music box.
So,
Is it a music box that only plays children's whispers?
kind of. So, the three of you are standing in this room. Like I said, it's a study. Your big, expensive mahogany desk in the center, bookcases around, a little like bar on the side with really fancy whiskey or something. Exactly what you would expect. There's a fireplace and a mantle with like the family portrait over it. What you are staring at on the desk right now is a jewelry box. And in the jewelry box is sets of glass eyes. There is a number of these eyes, and there is another space in the box that is fitted. This is obviously a custom-made box, fitted to what looks like is probably supposed to be some sort of maybe masquerade mask or something. that is not currently there, but the space where it fits snugly and securely into this box is like evident. There are a number of sets of glass eyes, and they're all similar, but not exactly the same. And they all have slight cracks in them. This is, again, a little unorthodox for Blades in the Dark, where I'm calling for a roll. You're not generally supposed to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Allie, I would like you specifically to roll me something to kind of investigate these eyes. That could be a tune, that could be study, survey, tinker, like. But I'm looking from you specifically.
I think study would probably work best. So we've got 2 there. So that's going to be, whoa.
And of course, you can always push yourself to get another die. You just give yourself some stress. And I'm always willing and able to deal out some devil's bargains. They're free for good home.
My D6 I brought down here just disappeared into the abyss. So bear with me for one moment while we figure out where that went.
All right. Well, while that's happening, let me go ahead and explain to Kevin. So, pushing yourself, the stress mechanic in this game is what kind of pushes the entire game along. So once you get a certain number of stress, you can see on your sheet there's like that many boxes, then you are out of the score and you take a trauma. Once you get a certain number of traumas, it's maybe not necessarily that you die, you could, but it could be that you're completely incapacitated and out of the game for other reasons. That takes a while to do, depending on how hard you're playing the game. So stress is one of those things you want to balance. You can take as much stress as you want during a score, and then during downtime you indulge in your vice to get rid of that stress. So your vice specifically, let's see, yours is weird. You experiment with concoctions and stuff. So if you took a lot of stress on your downtime, you would want to do a bunch of drugs about it until you felt better.
Standard.
And then a devil's bargain is I give you something and take something in return. And that could be anything. Usually it's trading up for you get better effect, or you get an extra die, or you get some kind of bonus, but I get some kind of like extra consequence. I like devil's bargain. Allie,
I'm probably going to go for a lot of stress and devil's bargains just to be chaotic.
I mean, that's the way the game is meant to be played, right? Like
it is. It really is.
You're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yep.
The other thing about Blades in the Dark is that because that is how you're supposed to play, it's pretty common that your character will get like knocked out for a while. So then you just play another character until that character can come back or whatever. Like, it's pretty common to have multiple. That's not a big deal. Allie, what you got?
I got a 1 and a 6.
I was really hoping you'd want to take that devil's bargain, but that's okay. With a 6 in your study, you're looking at these eyes, and everybody else is like, weird, okay, but there's other weird stuff around, and I just got eaten by a plant, so is this really the weirdest thing? Are they expensive? Can we steal them? Can we sell them? It's sort of the conversation going on around you. You're looking at these things, and you know there is something. These have been either tampered with or made for a very specific reason. There's something about them. They're not just regular glass eyes. And as you stare at them and you look around, you realize that they match all of the eyes in this family portrait.
Oh, fuck that noise. Okay, cool.
And then, with a 6, it dawns on you that the eyes in your Henrietta are also a very similar shade. But the eyes in Henrietta are not cracked.
Okay.
And I would like to remind you that canonically, one of you said that Henrietta's eyes were moving earlier. You thought you were joking. I decided you weren't.
I just want to. I know you guys can't hear it, but I've got Sirenscape going in the background, and I've got these. There's these creepy voices playing. It is creeping me out. I've got it. I'm the only one that has it in my ears, and I'm just sitting here shivering with like there's just these little whispers in the background. It's Henrietta whispering every now and then. It's ugh. Okay. Go ahead. Thank you, Sirenscape. By the way, I haven't shouted you out. Thank you for the sounds and music.
Because you got a 6, which is a complete success, I will give you a moment to react to this information before throwing anything else at you. What would you like to do or say in this moment?
Oh, well, so has anybody else noticed that these eyes here seem to they seem to match possibly the portrait eyes? It's a little bit suspicious. Maybe they were making doll-like reproductions of themselves.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. The eyes that are currently in Henrietta are Daryl's in the portrait.
Oh my god. Okay. Cool. Cool. With the autopsy, he wasn't missing his eyes, was he? I should have done an autopsy on the rest of. Oh man. Okay,
These are glass
but we
eyes.
never. Yes. Okay.
These are
Do
not.
they seem
I do
to?
understand that glass eyes usually go in. He was, as far as what the autopsy report said, everything was intact. They didn't note any glass eyes or missing eyes or anything like that.
Okay.
They also, well, you didn't look at anything else.
Oh, okay. Oh man, gotcha.
Let me look at your. Allie, can you send me your sheet real quick? I just wanna.
Yeah.
So you. Yeah. Okay. So you are a leech, correct?
Yes.
All right. You're a leech. You're not a whisper, but you're a whispery kind of leech. So, in kind of the standard that a whisper would have is something called a spirit mask. You don't have one as a leech, but you're very familiar with them. So I'm just going to give you this information. Spirit masks are sort of like a known thing in Blades in the Dark. They come up a lot because it's part of the standard gear for a whisper. So a spirit mask can do a number of different things. It depends on how you and the players like build the world. Usually a spirit mask does something like can let you see into the ghost field, or lets you attune and communicate with ghosts, or see spectral energy, or that sort of thing. They are occult masks that do something with the ghost field when you put them on your face. So you do not personally have one, but given this information, you would know ghost or spirit masks are a thing, and that's probably what was in this space. Probably these eyes go with a spirit mask.
Okay, so that means this is like a lot of spirit masks then, right?
There's just one spirit mask that goes in here, and it's in the same box with all of these different eyes. Like the same way that it's like an accessory almost. But you know that spirit masks usually, well, everybody's spirit mask looks different, but they tend to like go over your face, but your eyes can usually still see through them. They don't have like fake eyes. They're normally kind of the masquerade mask or superhero mask kind of look.
Okay.
So this is unusual.
I would call that out, and I would go ahead and relay that information to the rest of the group for sure.
Okay, so that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and say that Kevin comes in at this moment. Jakar comes. You come through the door. You've been huffing and puffing and running. The guards say like, yeah, they're downstairs. It doesn't seem to be that much of a problem. So you get here, and just as you're about to be like, he's got an evil twin, which is definitely the information that I gave you. Absolutely. You cracked the case. Oh, I love when Kevin plays an idiot. It's my favorite.
Go with what you know.
Yeah, see, there I'm playing to myself. I'm not playing in. I know you're supposed to explore different types of things in role playing games, but you still have to have
Kevin
that
wants to
kernel.
explore different types of idiocy.
Yeah.
So here's the bad stuff from your role earlier, Kevin. The guards let you in, not a problem. They show you downstairs, but as you are going down the stairs, you hear the door lock behind you, and you can hear some like muffled them talking to each other, and you can't make out everything they're saying, but it amounts to something like poor sods as they walk away.
So the blue coats locked us in.
The guards, the blue coats, are not here. They didn't want to deal with this mess. This place might be haunted.
The cultist guards.
The cultist guards, the ones that were supposed to be Tebow's friends.
Tebow.
But you don't know this.
I was like friendlier with one of them. One of them, not all of them. So.
All right, Kevin, you rejoin your team downstairs.
I'll saunter in downstairs, and I'm gonna say I've cracked the case. Evil twin. And can anyone pick a lock? Because I think we're locked in, but that's a secondary thing.
No. What is that? Why do you think that we are locked in?
It's just a door. It's okay. Doors, you can open them. The hawk, he's got it. He's the best in the biz. Yeah, evil twin. So what do you guys found?
Show him the creepy cat thing, Nettle.
Isn't she precious?
Very precious. I give it a little scritch.
It looks directly into your eyes.
I wouldn't touch that thing if I were you, man.
I also see all the fake eyes that are rayed out. I'll pick up one and start looking at it, smell it a little bit, give it a little lick, and then put it back.
Just that you sleep in a house with that thing in it. It's terrifying to me.
The second you brought that out, I was like, how do I make this entire score about Henrietta? How do I... So, Kevin, you say you look him over, give him a sniff, give it a lick. Are you trying to investigate it, or are you trying to get any information out of it, or is that just kind of a flavor?
He just wants the flavor profile.
You see.
I mean, if the eye was inside of a person, there might be still some stuff on there. Like who knows if it's gonna get me high or something like that. Who knows?
Oh, so this is you potentially indulging in your vice then?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what you do when that happens on a score. Sometimes, let's give an example. Say your vice is cocaine. You walk into a house where there's a giant pile of cocaine. It's going to be very difficult for that character to just walk past the pile of cocaine, do the job. So there is a very real chance that in that situation, and in this one, you completely ignore what you're actually supposed to be doing and just go all in on indulging your vice. So there is a correct way to do this, and if I had the book open, I would know what it is. So here's what's going to happen instead. You don't have any stress at the moment, correct?
No, I do not.
Okay. We're going to have to fix that. here's what I want you to do. I need you to roll, basically to resist this. Let's see. Does it say where the resistance rolls are on here? If there's a cheat sheet on my thing, I don't think there is one. But let me pull up this book. It'll be good for me to actually have it open anyway. But I want you to roll a resistance roll to see if you can not get entirely lost in the sauce here.
Player chooses resist a consequence. GM determines if the consequence will be reduced or negated by the resistance roll, depending on the details of the situation. The GM determines which attribute applies to the consequence at hand: insight, prowess, or resolve. Player rolls a dice for that attribute. PUC takes stress equal to 6 minus the highest die roll, and the consequence is negated or reduced.
Gotcha. So probably resolve, I think, would be the one. So you have 2 in resolve. That's your highest thing under it. So you roll 2d6 and see what you get. If it's bad, you're just licking the walls trying to taste the schnozberries.
I got a 5 and a 6.
5 and a 6. Okay, perfect. So what happens instead is this is a little bit more of a actually looking into what's happening sort of situation. And probably in your mind you go, ooh, this could make a good, and then you're like, later. So, but you know, you take a nice little lick. You and every geologist in the world have so much in common. This doesn't have any goo on the inside, I'll say. It doesn't look like this eye usually goes into a, like normally a glass eye would go into an eye socket, correct? These ones don't seem to. They look entirely clean. They have some slight notches on them, though, that looks like maybe they're set into something, but they do not seem like they have ever been, or have been meticulously cleaned, if ever, have been used by a human to look like an eye. So, sorry, no goo.
All right, I put the eye back and let everyone know. I don't think that these have ever been inside anyone, besides my mouth right now, but you know.
That is a relief, considering you just tried to eat it. I don't think it's normal to eat. Okay.
You never know where I'm going to find my next ingredient to be able to create the wonderful concoctions, and I show my bandolier full of weird liquids and fizzy things and stuff like that.
Very fair. By the way, I have a vial of something for you, Becca.
Ooh.
So while the leeches are having whatever this conversation is, what is the Hawk and Jorts doing? Especially now that you know that you've been locked in.
Yeah, Eddie's going straight to the door. Like, whatever is going on down here, apparently they think we're cannon fodder to, you know, these people are not like, well, we're about to burn this whole place down, including all these jokers in out there that locked us in. So the first thing he's going to do is go up the stairs and try to get that door open.
Sure. Well, it is very locked. So what would you like to do about that?
Well, I've got a fine set of lockpicks in my trench coat.
All right. Since you have fine lockpicks, that means that you will have better. I always forget the word effect. Better effect. So even if you get a slightly lower score because you have fine lockpicks, you'll do better than if you had crappy lockpicks. So go ahead and. What does that look like for you? Is it tinker?
Would it not be? I was thinking it would be finesse. Would it not be a prowess?
Finesse also works. It really depends on how you say your character is doing it.
Yeah, he knows, like, with his lockpicks, he can get Like I really think it would be finesse. He knows how to
Sure.
like he can hear it. So
Yeah,
here we go.
absolutely. Roll it for me.
That is a 5 on the die.
All right, 5 on the die. So pretty good. Still a consequence, but pretty good. So you do get the door open. Um, the consequence is not that that doesn't happen. It does. The thing is, it takes a little bit longer than expected. I would imagine probably because you don't know what's on the other side or if the guards are still over there. So you're just kind of like quietly taking your time, making sure that you're not running into anything unexpected. So you get the door open. You are, as far as you know, free at this point. Um, Jakar was not aware that any of the other doors had been locked behind him that he said. So, as far as you know, you're good to go. But I will say that you took your time doing this so that if there were any guards on the other side, they don't know that this is happening. So that you still have your element of surprise, we'll say. Here's your slight consequence. While you're up there, you are separate from your team. Um, your leeches are discussing people goo. Jorts, what are you up to?
So, the big family portrait that's above the fireplace and everything, that has like the whole family, all like 300, not 300, but a
It's
bunch of
not
people.
300 people, but it's think about the kind of pictures they do for like TV show casts where it's like 10 to 15 people and like some of them are sitting and some of them are like behind a couch. It's that sort of thing. Yeah.
Downton
And
Abbey.
the one like
The
in the
Downton
center.
Abbey cast picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like the Knives Out.
And like, about how many eyes are in this box? Could all of these eyes match up to the people in the? So, is like underneath the picture, I'm imagining there's this like big mantle and everything. Can I just like take the eyes like 2 by 2 and start taking them over and laying them underneath the person that they match up with?
Yep, you totally can. And as you do that, you see, yes, they match up with everyone in the family except Daryl's are missing. But you imagine
They're
that probably because the eyes that look just like Daryl's are currently staring
and
at you via Henrietta.
so after I match them all up, he'll go back to the desk and probably like put one leg up on the desk, showing his shorts off.
What are we doing?
Look over to the leeches and just be
to indulge your vice.
no, I'm kidding.
Once again,
But
as with every game we play, this is not how John Harper ever thought this game was supposed to. This is not what he intended.
This happens
You're John
with
Harper.
every game
We're
I'm in,
sorry.
though. Poor Allie has tried to get me involved in so many Bloodlines games, and every time she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do something serious," I'm like, "This is the house from The Notebook where Ryan Gosling died."
I mean, you say that, but also look at the game that the creator, Jay Sonia, of the game has been running for us.
Yeah.
Churros.
Yes.
That's very fair.
Yes.
Anyway,
It's called Yes Anding, and we do a great job.
That's because he wasn't prepared for what was coming his way. He was
he's
prepared
for
to run the game. He was not prepared for what his players were about to throw at him.
He
I don't know what
loves
you're talking
us.
about. We're consummate professionals. Peebo, what are you doing at the desk?
So he would look then over to the leeches and mention to them like the eyes all match up except for, and then like kind of point at Henrietta.
Who was looking directly at you? She was watching you do this. Like, Allie's the cat that Allie's holding, those eyes don't move, but these ones do. Like,
How do you know Allie's cat's eyes don't move?
I haven't seen them move anyway. So Nettle is holding this doll, and it was looking at Jakar at first, but they started talking about eyeball goo, and then Henrietta was looking at you. Like, you are making direct eye contact.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I'd be
unnerving.
like, they all match except that thing, Nettle. It's something with the evil twin.
Okay, so let me see. So this evil twin is actually an evil twin. There is actually a second one of them.
You're muted.
What usually happens is for the evil twin to fully incorporate their power into their internal matrices, they have to, kill the good twin to absorb their energy.
Henrietta rolls her eyes so hard.
And what better way to, take the money and run than to kill your good twin, and then everyone's just like, oh, he's dead, and then you run away with all the money.
I would like to roll a study, Jenna, to see the validity of the statement.
Okay. You can roll. I'm going to let you roll a study to put together your own information, but you know the validity of that statement is -0.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. That is a 5 for my first roll. And a 5 for the second. So I think that's a double partial.
All right, that works for me. So you take a while, and it takes. You are very familiar with Jakar. You know how to listen to what he's saying and then sort of filter out that stuff, So it gets a while to get around to what the actual information is rather than his assessment of the information. But you do finally get around to there was not actually any sort of formal identification of the body because the guards that knew him were the ones that brought the body there. There was a missing person, continues to be missing as far as you know, who looks exactly like Daryl. The only eyes that are not cracked are Daryl's eyes, and you know that he was the last one seen alive and is now presumed dead. And you get the idea it's probably not an evil twin situation.
But we have the records from the. I was about to say obituary. That's not right.
Yeah, the coroner.
You have the records from the morgue that says there was a body, and the body was identified by the guards as Daryl.
I don't think Daryl's dead. Is it possible Daryl is
the cat?
So here's the thing about that 5. There is still a consequence. So just as Pivo says, is it possible that Daryl is... You see through the wall... You found this...
secret room?
Secret door, right? A secret room. A closet. It doesn't go anywhere else. It doesn't lead anywhere else. Through the back of the wall materializes a person wearing what looks like a masquerade mask that you can see his eyes through, and in really ornate black raven feathers that come across the side.
Tuxedo mask.
And he just materializes through the wall. What'd you say, Kevin? I
said tuxedo mask.
Yes, he has a rose in his mouth and everything. He's here to woo all of your teenage girls. There aren't any, so he goes home. End of score.
So now we get the XP, right?
I told you I'd solve it.
No. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a rose in his mouth. What he actually has is a saber. And you see he does have there's like a satchel. You were told there was a bag. He does have like a crossbody leather bag that he is wearing. And this is, I'm not going to make you roll for it, obviously, Daryl. So he materializes through the wall, and he says, honestly, your name Chatter made me even consider not bothering with you, but I just can't have any loose threats, you understand. So he is going to, let's see, who's probably closest? Allie, you're holding Henrietta, so he is going to, walk up and lunge and swipe at you to try and get Henrietta back. Now, I do want to remind you that Jakar and Keel are both in the room, but the hawk is not quite back yet because you were taking a long time. So you don't actually know this is happening. You'll be back in a minute. So, Ali, someone is trying to slash at you, probably at your throat specifically, with a saber. What you doing about it?
I want to wreck his fucking day.
I just looked down and realized that it was an hour. That's my bad. I should have done
Holy
that.
shit.
So we're going to break with Daryl coming and slashing towards your throat with a saber because you are holding Henrietta. And then when we come back, we'll find out what Nettle does.
All right, we're gonna take 5 minutes. Quick bio break. Grab a drink. Stick around with us. We'll be straight back.
All right. No. Kevin takes a point of stress for that. Not Jakar, Kevin.
Gotta dab on your haters.
Of which there are many, I'm sure. Anyway, so as we left off, a dapper looking gentleman in a rather fancy spirit mask came through, phased through the wall, which is not a normal thing that happens in Duskfall, by the way. Just like kind of magic stuff like that isn't a thing for like people. There are vampires, there are demons, there are ghosts, there are occult things, there are Leviathan in the ocean. Like there's spooky shit around. But just people can't usually do that. So this is like not a common occurrence and not something that you were expecting. And he has a saber, and then he has a saber towards your throat. So what is Nettle doing at this moment?
I'm gonna wreck it.
Okay, I'm fully down for that. What does that mean in this particular instance? Like, describe to me what you're doing.
I'm gonna scratch his face. Like, just claw anywhere I can.
But
Yeah.
What if you told me that you wanted to do the chicken dance aggressively towards him? I would. That's how this game
That
works.
sounds like a wreck. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, cool.
Scott,
God,
can you get
that's
that music going?
Aggressive chicken dance in D minor.
Oh, it's not the creepy music now. It's I when we went on break, I put it on more aggressive music. So.
Okay, perfect.
That's a 5 to wreck it.
All right. So how Blades in the Dark works, I don't roll at all except your engagement roll for the crew and occasionally luck rolls for the crew. So this roll to wreck is your reaction to him and how it goes and what happens next. So he's not going to roll to try and hit you. You don't have like an AC. You do have body armor if he does end up hitting you, but that only happens if you roll low.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm not rolling to hit. So what happens with a 5 is you manage to get out of the way of the saber, and then if you want, you can describe to me how you like move and then claw, and then I will tell you how he sort of comes back and this action continues and keeps moving because that's what has to happen anyway, but also what the consequence is. So like, what does this look like when you do it?
So, okay, I feel like Nettle probably has like those like obnoxiously kind of like long nails, like not like too ridiculous, but fairly long because she uses it to like keep things in place when she's like, you know, working on all the things. They're like extensions. Keep in mind, like Nettle is a very like small woman, so I feel like any extensions possible she goes for. So I feel like she has like underneath maybe like a couple of her like nail areas. She has them like, what's it called? Oh my god, it's called a fucking ring. I'm a dumbass. Just like, you know those rings that have like the like metal pieces on them? I feel like she has like a couple of those, and she's going to kind of like use that to like knock the dagger a little bit out of the way, and then the other the other hand is just going to go in, and I think I'm just going to go for like right by the eye of this mask, trying to like rip this feathery mask off.
Let me take a quick second to talk about load and what you have. So in this game, you don't bother with putting together an inventory beforehand. It's much more cinematic, where like in the movies when you need something you just have it. So load, as it says on your sheet, light load you get 3 boxes, normal load you get 5, and heavy you get 6. Usually you decide before the score, and I just forgot to do it. A lot of people forget about load before the score. Scott had already said he had normal. You don't all have to have the same load, but you should probably tell me what it is. Normal's probably fine for this one. But how this works is anytime you want something, you tick a box of load to have it. And the things that are on your sheet are kind of your normal, what you personally might have. But if you wanted to have something else, you can just tick make a box of load for that thing too. If you wanted something that is egregiously outside your purview, that there's no reason that you would have it, like if you told me you wanted a dual disc from Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm like, yes, a leech from Duskfall is going to have a dual disc, okay, that will take stress and a flashback to get it, but you could still have them. So you see on your sheet you have things like tinkering tools and wrecking tools and a blowgun and darts and an unusual weapon. So if you wanted, you are more than welcome to, instead of just using a flavor ring that you have, taking one of your things and telling me how this ring is an unusual weapon.
Oh,
Is it
absolutely,
is
yes.
it poisoned? Did you put some sort of like thing on it? Is it spiked? Is it, I don't know, magnetic? Like, you can tell me about what you have and how it works.
Absolutely. Okay, first, before we get into this, I have a quick question about ghost cocaine.
Okay, vacuum. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. So is vacuum only effective on the ghosts, or does it like what are the actual effects?
Sure. So if you as a human were to snort this powder, which is like Vanta Black, basically,
Right.
you would. It has more psychotropic effects for a human. You would go on a little trip, and it would not be like super great for you. It's not going to give you like super strength with like PCP or anything like that. Most of what vacuum does is psychotropic for humans, but anytime there's vacuum around, it will attract ghosts.
Awesome. Okay.
So this world, instead of just regular electricity, this is very like dark steampunk sort of thing. Everything runs on electroplasm, which is made from ghosts, and ghosts eat it. It's like life force, basically. So this like green glowing you see on our overlay, the street lights are kind of green. That's electroplasm running the street lights. So electroplasm will attract ghosts because they want to eat it, and vacuum will attract ghosts because they want to eat it. But yeah, it's depending on, I will say, and I'm making this up on the spot, so feel free, anybody else, if you want to chime in on any of the things of how vacuum works. We're making it up together. It's not in the book. I will say that just like anything else, you can have a fine version of vacuum. You know, you can have like an excellent, you know, if you've got like really high grade, then the ghost can kind of sense it and smell it from like farther away, sort of thing. And if you have really low grade, maybe it's cut with like cornstarch or something, then it's not going to have as high of effect, and ghosts will only be able to smell it from like very close.
Okay.
So that's what we know about it currently. Anything else about it, we can make up. This is the game where you guys can make up stuff too, though. So if you tell me something about how vacuum works, that's how it is. If you tell me something that's really coincidental, then it might take a stress, but it's still how it works.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and skin this unusual weapon as kind of a like 1, 2, 3 like finger ring sort of deal that goes down and has those like talony armor areas that kind of go over the nail area. And the one that is on her index finger also has a little vial, and it's basically like a emergency injection sort of deal, in addition to being like these little like melee scratchies. I think that's pretty unusual and works. So yeah, I would like to go ahead and deploy the injection.
Go for it, absolutely. So what are you trying to accomplish here? Are you trying to get him high? Are you trying to...
Yes. Okay. I'm trying to throw him off his game.
Okay. And you rolled
a 5.
All right, yeah, totally. So you do that. I will say the consequence is, even though this is pretty fine vacuum that you guys stole from that black market thing, your last store, while he has this spirit mask on and he is like attuning to the ghost field, he's already sort of in this sort of liminal between space. Think of it like a Pierce the Veil, basically.
Yeah.
So you inject him with these psychotropic drugs, and it is going to have an effect on him, but since he's already in that space, it's probably not going to have as much of an effect as if he were in just the real world, his right mind, so to speak. Does
Right.
that make sense?
For
Because he's
sure,
sort
for
of like
sure.
already working towards it.
Perfect.
But he sort of like rears back, and you have scratched his beautiful, rich face, and he goes like, "Ah, wench." That's what people say that, right? Rich people call people wenches. That's a thing. I don't know.
It is now.
They do now.
You're the
Canon and
GM.
Jessica. So let's see.
Welcome
What-
to this week's episode of Rich or Wench.
I am going to let's start a clock here. I think we're gonna start the lowest is a 4-part clock, so we're gonna start a 4-part clock for ghosts smell the vacuum and show up. So ghost party is the clock, and I'm gonna go ahead and tick one slot on it, so there is 3 more. And at this point, he is sort of yelling, "Guards!" And he points his saber back at Nettle. But you can hear from upstairs, you particularly, Hawk, because you are right at the door. You get this door open, you hear from downstairs a voice that you do not recognize yelling from the guards. And then the guards that are on this other side of this door are about to come through this door. So what would you like to do?
Relock it. Relock it. It probably doesn't work that way.
It could. I don't know. He is like a master locksmith, right?
I mean, relocking it is pretty good. My initial thought is to draw my pistol and go all John Wick on these losers.
That also works.
But we're also, if I relock it, I'm locking us in with this. Of course, I don't know he's down there.
You know somebody's down there because you do not recognize that voice. You know your crew.
Yeah,
Do you want to?
yeah. He's gonna draw his pistol, and first one of these occultists he sees
Sure. So
drops.
you hear scuffling towards the door as they hear calling for guards, go to open the door, and just as someone, it's not Peebo's friend, opens the door and goes, "Hey, wasn't the gun?" So I would like you to roll for this. It seems to me that you're rolling a wreck because you're trying to kill them. But I will listen to other. I'm open. There's also always the availability of devil's bargains and pushing yourself.
Well, I got no points in wreck.
Usually wreck is like what you do if you're trying to kill someone. Wreck is kind of the... Skirmish is when you're just fighting.
Yeah, I got finesse and prowl and prowess. That's what I
I don't
got.
really feel like point blank gun counts. That doesn't really feel like a finesse move to me.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying I don't have wreck.
Would you like a devil's bargain?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Let's talk about some things here. So first of all, just to get an idea of some things that you could do devil's bargains with. What? Oh, also, you guys have special abilities. You should read them because I'm not keeping track of that. What is your vice is obligation? What does that mean? What is your vice?
This blue coat, Darmot, has he is blackmailing me. He's framed me for a robbery that I didn't commit, but he's got it set up to where he can have me taken in at any moment. So I kind of have to watch out for him, and if he ever comes knocking, I have to kind of do what he wants.
Gotcha. Can you do me a favor? You have obligation written as your vice. If you could kind of fill that out and write those things in there so I can know that for later.
Yes.
Your devil's bargain is I will give you a die in wreck this one time, but I will also start a clock that he's coming for you. And this is a long-term project clock, not like a 4-part clock. Let's see what we. How about we'll do a 6-part clock, like a more of a long-term. He's gonna come for you at some point.
Comes here to the house?
I didn't say what is gonna happen. Oh no, not here during this score.
Okay.
At some point later, maybe during downtime, maybe during a different score. I haven't decided. He's not going to show up tonight, I will tell you that. I will give you a die. I get to start a clock about this guy. Because your obligation, Vice, is he's blackmailing you. You have to do whatever he wants, or you have to give him money, or whatever he's asking for. This clock is he closes the deal. And you're going to Iron Hub.
Okay.
But you got time. You guys can deal with this later, right?
And he rolls a 1 anyway.
That is a 3.
Alright. I am just putting the clock in my notes. That is a 3. So it doesn't go well. Here's how I like to think about these things. 6 is a yes and. Yes, you get what you want and something extra. 4 and 5 is no, but. No, or yes, but. Yes, you get what you want, but something happens. And then 2 and 3 is no, but. No, you don't get what you want, but there might be something else that happens that's beneficial. And 1 is like no, and it gets worse. So you didn't roll a 1, you rolled a 3. So it's a no, but you do get something else. So I will say how this works, because it's point blank, is you miss. You miss because he's expecting to have to go for the keys, and the door opens in his hand, and he wasn't expecting that. So instead of being directly in front of the door ready to go through, he's instead like leaning over, talking to his friend like, wait a minute, weren't there? And the gun is like right by here. So he's like, it's like right in his ear. You have startled him and thrown him sort of off his game. But they definitely know you're here. They are very armed. You do not have the element of surprise anymore. And his buddy is now pulling out his weapon to get to you. From what you can tell, there are only 2 of them up here. And you just gave one of them to Nidus. Alright, we're gonna come back to the other room where Daryl and our friends are. This is a hard game to split the party, but we've done it anyway. What is Peebo doing?
Peebo, after seeing Daryl go... Are we even sure this is Daryl? This could be Warren Flintstock. The look-alike. But...
It's really unlikely that the rich guy died and the poor person took his place. That's...
Unlikely, but not impossible. Not impossible. So... And his family's looking for him. So, because they have the ads in the paper. So, Peebo, and he just tried to stab someone else in the crew. So Peebo would be running over to him and trying to tackle, disarm him, like knock him to the ground, to try to just like start brawling with him and everything, I think I'd probably try to roll a skirmish and try to knock him off, knock him down. Not really, like, throwing a couple fists and punching, but not really trying to kill him yet or anything like that. Just disarming him and averting everything to, at me instead of at them.
So I will remind you that your arm is, you currently have 1 level of harm, and as you
I
can
do.
see next to it, it says less effect. So because your arm is wounded, you have lower
Yes.
effect to whatever you're
I
about
do. Correct. So I'm kind of like, almost like going in, because my right arm's, not good right now. So
You're
yeah,
like
and
swollen and bruised.
Right, yeah. So probably like pulled up the sleeves so that way, but I'm not even like swinging a punch with that arm or anything. So just kind of going with one arm, trying to swing, and then maybe try to like bear hug tackle or something. But it's so because of that, do I get 1 less die? Also,
It's not that you get less. No. So if you had level 2 harm, it would be minus a die. But with level
Okay.
1 harm, it's only lower effect,
okay,
which is a narrative.
right, okay,
But you can push yourself and give yourself a stress to get another die or to bump your effect. You can also take a devil's bargain. There's always options. Another thing that you could do is if you and Jakar are working together, you could do some sort of group action if you wanted.
Do you have any ideas for a group action, Jakar?
I was gonna try and mess with his mask. I don't know if that's giving him any special, walk through wall ability or anything like that. So if you want to like try and knock him down, I could, try and remove the mask from him, and maybe he won't like phase
Right.
through you or the floor or something like that.
So I think I'll do that, and would I be able to push myself to get to not have the lowered effect?
Yeah. So if you guys, so you can do this a couple ways. One is a helping action, which sounds like this. That might be what this is, and another is a group action where you're all trying to accomplish the same thing. But what it sounds to me is, at the moment, what's actually happening is you, Peebo, are going to assist Jakar in getting the mask off. So it sounds like Peebo's
Yes.
is trying to like get him down on the ground so that
Right.
Jakar can get the mask off. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So then what actually happens is you, Peebo, can take a stress, and that will give Jakar another die on
Okay.
your roll. So Jakar, I don't know what you kind of consider this one. If you're just trying to like rip the mask off his face, that might be like a finesse. It could be a skirmish. I guess you could try and do like a tune. Like there's a couple different options here. What are you thinking?
I was thinking is, I focus access focus alchemy. There's like a universal solvent alchemical agent. I was thinking about just pulling the vial off my bandolier and like throwing it in his face or pouring it on to like mess up the mask. Maybe it'll dissolve whatever is holding the
The spirit gum.
feathers on, and whatever it is. Or like people could get him on the ground, and I could just like try and punt off his face with my foot.
Yeah, sure. So an alchemical thing then. What role would you use for that? Do you think?
I figured I was going to use wreck because I'm trying
Yeah.
to wreck the mask. All right. So if I want to, now I only have a one.
I will let you know that this is a I don't remember what the levels are, but a nice and expensive, a well-crafted spirit mask. I don't remember if it's like maybe excellent or superior, whatever those are called. This is an expensive piece of kit, and if you wreck it, that is one less thing that you or other people on your team would potentially be able to use later that is then no longer available to you. or depending on how it's wrecked or what you're trying to do, maybe there could be a long-term project to restore it if you want to. I mean, there is always those options, but just to let you know, like, this is an expensive and cool, fun occult thing that you are trying to break so that you can't use it anymore. Just so you understand that. Because it seems like your character would probably not want to break it. You would probably
Yeah,
want to keep it.
yeah, I'm thinking that, like that goes into my vice. Maybe I'd want to, All right, then I'm just gonna try and like wrestle it off of his, face. Fortunately, I don't have anything in skirmish.
Well, your friend Peebo is helping you. So you do have one die, but
one.
you can push yourself and take a stress. Or you
Might
can
as well.
I'm gonna go for a devil's bargain.
Alright. So just so you know, I will tell you the devil's bargain. You do not have to take it.
Take it.
I know that I am a bit of a softie. I don't pretend like you do. Pretend like I'm gonna TPK every single time and then doesn't happen.
Do it.
You big
You roll a
coward.
1, you die.
So what I will say is, you will get your die no matter what happens. This is going to be at least partially broken, and it will take a downtime action like a project in order to restore it to use, which means that there's less availability to do other downtime things like, fixing someone's arm or whatever. But I'll give you that die.
I didn't touch the plant. It's his fault. All right, so then I can roll 2 then, or just
Correct.
the 1. 4.
4. All right, yeah. So it's not. Then we'll say it's not entirely broken, right? Like if you had rolled 1s, I would have been like, this thing is in half. This is like.
I stepped on it.
Yeah, it's got pee on it somehow. It's just bad, right? But with a 4, it is broken, but it still looks repairable. Like the feathers are crushed, but this could be repaired. So here's what happens. Peebo, I'm assuming, jumps the guy, and you rip the mask off. In that moment, the eyes in Henrietta go gray and lifeless and stop looking around everywhere. Once this mask is off this guy's face. And he looks back at you and goes, "Oh, you're gonna regret that," and sinks through the floor. So you do not currently know where he is at the moment, but you do have the mask. You do know that it is not on him. And
If you put it on,
I put the mask on.
Okay, Jakar, if you put the mask on, can you go through the floor?
I put the mask on. I start looking around.
Okay. Roll a tune for me.
I've got nothing in that one. 3.
3. All right. So that kind of makes sense. You know that spirit masks are usually a very more personal situation. Like people that have them tend to create their own, and sort of like glasses. Everybody's got their own prescription, right? So this spirit mask doesn't fit you well. You can't see through it very well. And with time and fixing it, you probably could. But what you notice is you're not seeing, you're kind of seeing through the ghost field. Everything's fuzzy and sort of on top of each other, like really bad AR, like a really cheap VR thing. Like it's you're kind of getting the vertigo situation, but you notice that this is not from your point of view. This is from Henrietta's point of view, and you're kind of, the vertigo is extra, that you're seeing yourself from a different point of view than what you are, and then you're trying to move and it's not moving the way that you thought you would, and you're not seeing what you thought you would, and you can kind of see the ghost field but not entirely. So you are completely disoriented at this moment, and I'm going to give you a level 1 harm of, we're just going to call it disoriented. You have ghost flashbanged yourself, basically, by not properly attuning with the spirit mask. And I mean, it does not seem to be working the way a normal spirit mask does. It seems to be working through a doll of some sort, which is unusual. So,
Point the cat at the floor.
yeah, you point the cat at the floor. So you do see a teensy little bit of the ghost field, but you can't. Usually, you can see like, depending on how well you attuned, right? You can see like maybe through multiple rooms, or you can see like echoes of history of memories that have happened here, or if there's like large, emotional whatever. You can usually see some sort of residual something in the ghost field. For you, this is kind of almost like a fog of war situation where like you can see like this much in front of you. So you're like going around and you see through the floor there isn't it probably isn't a room down there, but there is like a space underneath of some sort. And you don't directly under you where Daryl was, like where he sort of like phased through, he's not there anymore. So you can kind of see that. You can kind of see that the room on the one that was like locked, no doors. It was just sort of like the treasure closet. On the other side, there is another room, and that's probably where Daryl had been before, and then phased through the wall. But you did not have access to phase through walls. So, all right, just to kind of get us all up to speed here, you have a rich occultist murderer who is trying to kill you because you're all loose ends, and his guards are trying to get down here to help him, and he has escaped through the floor, and both the guards are now with our friend the hawk here, who is by himself. Let's poke back up there for a second. It would be nice for me if you guys were all in the same area, but we'll at least keep this going for a bit. What are you doing right now? What's happening with you, Hawk?
Well, if he fires his gun and like just completely misses a point blank shot, I'm sure he would scramble. Like he wouldn't just stand there and wait on retaliation. He would try to scramble back down um to where everyone else is. Um
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for that. Just running down the stairs, that would be a boring thing to roll for. So, we'll say these guys are hot on your heels. You're running down the stairs. They're like I said, because you shot like point blank right at his ears.
yeah.
He's a little disoriented. So they're not shooting at you on the way down, but you know that they will be here in a second. You get into the room where your friends are, and it's just them. And Jakar's holding a mask, and Henrietta's eyes are dull. What's up? What's
I'm
up?
gonna like when I get to the bottom of the stairs, I'm gonna like take a step to the right, uh, through the opening, the doorway coming into the room. It's like guards are coming. Put that stupid cat down. We've got to deal with these guys.
Oh, I should have checked the ghost party clock for that 3. That's my bad. Can you please put another check on the ghost party?
I can. How do you like those? That my
They're
clock
really nice.
solution there. I found this. I actually had them last week, but we didn't start any clocks last week. So.
We were mostly kind of learning how the game works.
But yeah, I come in. I still have my pistol in my hand, but it's like I'm alerting everyone. Guards coming down the steps right behind me. We've got to deal with these guys.
We have a ghost in the floor. Like, what do you?
Oh, we can take them. The ghost will be fine. The ghost can wait until later.
You do know he's not a ghost. Ghosts are very obviously like separate. You know he's not a ghost.
But
Well,
how would we explain to somebody that he just disappeared into the floor quickly? That he wasn't
Well,
here.
this is Dust Ball. This is Blades of the Dark. I'm sure this wouldn't be something that would be unfathomable to Eddie.
Could we do a quick investigation of the floorboards to see if there are any maybe hidden trapdoors or anything like that that he could have sprung or optical
Yeah,
illusions?
absolutely.
Yes. Would that be
Investigate.
investigate? Would that fall under study? I haven't looked at my info yet, so.
It depends on how you do it. It's probably more like survey,
Yeah.
but I could
Mm.
also see hunt. Would also make
Mm.
sense to me. Okay, so another quick example of how Blades in the Dark works. You say you want to get a door open. Okay, how do you want to get the door open? Well, if you tell me I want to bash the door down and break it into splinters, that's a wreck. If you tell
Got
me you want to sneak around, slowly open the door so it makes no sound at all right, that's like a finesse or a prowl. Okay, if you tell me
Got it.
you want to pick the lock, well, that's probably a tinker. It depends on how you do things is what you roll.
So, could I go ahead and make an argument for Tinker based on what Dashia's background is and what she is used to creating herself? She would know how certain traps could work, and she would, because she would be more on the side of creating them, engineering them, and less just scouting and
Yeah, totally.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. That sounds
So
good.
you know what it is you're looking for, and you're looking for those particular triggers.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I feel like she's doing a lot of knock knock, maybe doing some measuring, stuff like that. Okay, the first one is a 6.
All right.
And the second one is not. But that's fine because the
fine.
first one was a 6.
A 6 is a complete success. So there's not anything in the floor. But looking around on the floor, you do find there are it's what we would call a return. It's not really a vent as in there's AC blowing through it, but it is in, I'm sure Kevin knows about them. In houses where it gets really cold, there's basically a hole in the house that goes to all the rooms so that you don't get a weird vacuum thing. We have them in Minnesota. So there is a return in this house. So, and probably that's what he's moving through, is these almost air duct sort of situation. Obviously not meant to be housing people. It's not what they're for. But when you are very familiar with a house and you're able to phase through stuff, then hey, why not? It's free real estate. So there isn't any way that you particularly can get into where he was, but you do know, because of how house returns work, that there isn't any need for there to be more than one of them in each room.
Okay,
so it's not like a system underneath every part of the floor in everywhere that he could be anywhere in this room and pop back up. It's sort of like, here's the one spot, here's the return. Next room, here's the one spot, here's the return. So if he's not directly under you, he's probably not under this room at all, and he has probably gone somewhere else.
Yes, so it appears as though he's using the returns to move around a little bit more. I have a friend who used to know his hideout area, his business very well. His name was Willis. I think he is currently Willising us.
Yippee-ki-yay.
So what do the rest of you guys want to do?
I love that so much. Well, you really don't have any time, because as you are looking around, these guards come in. Because they came right after, the hot busts in, is like, hey, we got company, and then bam, you have company. And
Beautiful.
you know what kind of company do you have? These are occultist guards. What kind of weapons do you think that occultist guards will have? I will just ask the party here. Would they have guns? I mean, guns are they're common. Would they have weird occulty stuff? What do you think?
Clubs.
Yeah, I think they'd have batons and then a hidden dagger to, do culty things with.
Like a little ritual dagger,
Yeah,
embedded with one soul jewel and a rune. Yeah.
Like a little athame, you know. It's
At most, a scimitar.
Are you saying that because you don't want to get shot, or because that's realistically what they would have?
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
picturing
so
them
I'm-
like, you know, like old, like British, you know, like police officers with, you know, like a bucket hat on and like a, you know, and just like a baton. Like they're not, you
Those
know.
are the blue coats. Yeah, these guys are private security.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
It-
I'm hearing private security. I'm hearing more like mall cop, which mall security
they-
frequently
Do,
How
isn't
do they have
about-
segways?
So then they have a radio and that's it.
How about we offer you a devil's bargain,
That's not how it works, but I'm listening.
and one of them has a gun, and one of
and
them do
everyone's
not.
name is Paul.
And
Oh.
what do I get out of this?
You get
get
to
to
go
shoot
with
A
us.
Paul
guard
and
with
Bart.
a gun.
You get to shoot one of us.
Or
You get to
I
shoot Brett.
will offer myself a devil's bargain. Both guards get guns, but the consequence is one of my poor player characters gets killed. Can't be helped.
Poor Peebo.
Poor Peebo.
Can't believe you.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. So that's a good deal, I think. So both the guards have guns, but they also have the little ritual dagger. Kevin talked me into it. As a treat, they can have the ritual
What?
dagger.
You're not accepting that. You're just.
Okay, Jenna, at the very least, can their names be Paul and Blart, please?
There's
Why
no
can't we have
negotiation. They have to
feelings?
be Paul and Blart.
They have guns, Jenna. They have
Okay.
guns.
Yes, Blart is the one with the dagger.
Okay.
And one of them is most definitely too old for this shit.
When they
That
use
is
the
true.
guns, does it like not actually fire, but like a little stick comes out and then it says bang?
No, like pistols, like guns, like real guns.
Flashback to where we sabotaged them earlier.
Yes.
Do you want to? That's totally a thing you can do.
Yeah,
Let's do it,
that's
yeah.
actually a mechanic. Now we're playing the game.
Yeah.
All right. How do you sabotage them? And then I will tell you how many stress you take for this flashback.
When I talked to my buddy and everything, I had him give me the ammo from all the guards' guns.
No.
Because he was
Yeah, that's going a bit.
no.
I mean, I think it would make sense if Peebo was originally just playing a prank on his buddy and snuck in too, where they like kept their storage while they were like eating lunch earlier, and was like, I don't know which gun is theirs. It's safe enough here, and just turned them all into bang guns.
Just magically just poofed
All
them.
three of them.
That's going to cause a lot of stress. she's gonna sink you in stress.
I love how not only is she doing this, but she's trying to do it in such a way that Peebo would be the one who took the stress.
Yeah, it's Peebo taking
Yeah.
it, not her. Yeah.
It's the realistic.
It's
the
okay.
realistic way that this
Okay.
could have happened.
I'm connected to the guards, so it is the most realistic.
Before
And I also
you-
could have done something to them when I got here. Like I ran past, you know, as I'm going
That would
past them or
actually
something
make a
like
lot of
that.
sense. Yeah.
You know, I could have.
Or
little
maybe you
tinker.
maybe you pickpocketed them on the way up, or maybe while you guys were still casing the joint, because that is something, you know, that Hawk knows exactly where the like break room, I guess, the guard room is on the grounds where they keep their supplies. Maybe you guys tampered with things, maybe some of the guns are jammed or something. That is totally reasonable, but I'm not going to say that you like replace them with squirt guns. They would notice. These are trained professionals, and your weapon that you train with and practice with and you hold every day, you're going to notice if it's not the same weapon. Like if someone replaced
Yeah,
it.
the most we could,
it's
I would say the
not
most we could get away with is unloading them, like
Mhm.
taking the bullets out of them, or at least one bullet. The next bullet in the chamber is, you know,
Well, you could try and jam them.
Well,
Like,
when
if
I
you
was
put
when I was
something in the
walking
chamber.
when I was walking past them coming downstairs, I accidentally spilt some, you know, adhesive on the, their holsters, so they're not able to get the guns out of their holsters because they're now glued in there.
Okay. Well, go ahead and mark off some load. And I'm going to say this needs to be one hell of an adhesive. So this is going to be a 3 stress flashback. Because otherwise, all the time that you'd been down there would be time that they could spend, like, taking it off and fixing it. So, Jakar takes 3 stress for oopsie daisy accidentally spilling
Some glue.
glue
I don't like guns.
directly on holsters for 2 people.
Stick a daisy in the barrel of while you were at it.
Well, what happened was
I
is when I
wanted
was
Ocean's 11 and I got Pink Panther.
when I got there, I knew that there was, the rest of the crew was down there, so I had to give myself a little, powdered courage. And while that was happening, they asked me what was going on. I didn't like the fact that they were, harshing my mellow, so I had to play a prank on them.
And you were sniffing glue. You just happened to be sniffing glue at the time. So
Okay,
it was handy.
But it's like special ghost glue or something because,
Yeah, of course.
Duskfall.
Time to name a new drug.
It doesn't have to be ghost glue. It can just be like, so this is like Victorian age stuff, right? Like, think about just normal, gas lamps and lead paint and asbestos and, I mean, there's all sorts of, look, Peebo.
So, yeah, it was the... Hold on.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our second break, and when we come back, these guards are going to have guns at some point.
Is it
But
Shields
for
Green?
now, we're going to go on break.
Was it Shields Green?
What's
I'm
that?
sorry?
Shields Green? The paint? Shields Green is a paint that was really fashionable, or dye / it was a color for paint for clothing. That was
the one
really
that
big in
was
Victorian. Yeah, but it was arsenic is what it was used to create the pigment, so people would get very, very sick from it.
And then you'd have to go vacation to the shore, and that's why you'd feel better, because you weren't breathing arsenic all the time. Imagine that.
Yeah.
I gave each one of them a little radium kiss on the lips as I walked by.
Oh, gosh. That's even worse. Now you take 4 stress.
Oh, okay, sorry.
All right, you want to
so I can think about
you want to go to break? Is that what you want to do, Jenna?
Yes.
I'm
Please,
so sorry.
Get me out of here.
Okay, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stick around. man, we're back.
All right. I have considered your offer.
Over a
Counter
mug
offer.
of hot chocolate.
I didn't end up getting hot chocolate. I make my own homemade hot chocolate mix, and I didn't realize that I was out, so I need to make more. And I wasn't going to be able to do it fast enough. So instead, I had some blueberry muffins, so it's okay. Well, it's okay for me. I might be a little bit cranky and try and murder you now that I don't have my hot chocolate.
Oh no.
I'm okay with this. I'll take this devil's bargain.
Done. I will say, whatever alchemical hand wave we would like to do, have jammed their guns for one shot each. And I get to tick a ghost party clock.
How about you can tick the Darmot clock twice?
Why? This has nothing to do with me.
I mean, I think it sounds fair.
The Darmot clock is not going to come up tonight. I can already tell you that. He's not come calling tonight because I want to think of
Yeah, she's gonna make me
Right.
pay.
Right. We'll just get it
but
for like
those-
5 today, and
Are we taking it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So these guys follow you down the stairs, try and take shots at you while they're running after you down the stairs, and their guns jam. So they're going to have to take a moment, rack, cat, bang, to clear both of their weapons. But you do make it safely into the room where your friends are, if that's where you're trying to go. I mean, I assume. Yeah, the hawk. Are you trying to?
Yeah, I darted back down the steps and just like took a step to the right. And so if one of them is coming through while he's trying to fidget with his gun, I'm just gonna like.
By all means. That is
Okay.
absolutely what happens. Let's see how it goes. So, what y'all see, by the way, he comes down the stairs and does the let's get company thing. Y'all are like looking around. Someone just disappeared through the floor. Nettle says, I think he's in the returns. And then a guard, who, as far as you knew, were some sort of at least partial ally, comes through with a gun. And the hawk rolls to sing to him. What are you doing?
I mean, if it's skirmish, I got no points in it, so I gotta do.
Skirmish is like a fight, but if you're trying to kill this guy, if you're trying to like take him out, if you're trying to incapacitate him in any way, that's gonna be a wreck.
I'll say I got no points in that either. So, so I could get a die if I take 2 stress.
Where do you see that? Because I thought it was 1 stress.
push yourself
right,
is 2 stress.
Yeah, right below the stress it says push yourself,
My bad.
take 2
I've
stress.
been going so easy on y'all. I thought it was 1 stress. Dang. Everybody should just take a stress just in case.
I haven't pushed. I can guarantee you I haven't pushed anything. But I am right now. I'm going to give myself 2 stress. And thereby giving myself 1 point in wreck. I'm going to try to knock this sucker out.
Go for it.
That is a 5.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask you. This works, but there's a consequence. Do you have a preference for consequence? there's a couple options. It could be his friend behind him has then a chance to get his gun cleared. It could be we take the ghost party clock. It could be Daryl comes back in the room. I mean, it could be any number of things.
Let's do the second guy gets his gun cleared.
All right, second guy gets his gun cleared. So you, what are you doing here? You like clocking this dude in the face? Is that
Yeah, I still have my pistol in my hand, and I'm just gonna like pistol whip him like in the jaw. I'm just like I said, I'm just trying to excuse me, I'm just trying to straight
When in
knock him
doubt.
out when he walks through the door.
Absolutely. So as that's happening, you hear the crunch into his face. His nose is probably broken from it, and the as this dude gets hit from the hallway. You hear the sound of the slide. Right, you hear the tap rack bang. This guy has cleared his gun. The guy in the back, who's not going to shoot at his friend, does have a clear, working, ready to go pistol. What are the three of you doing? Because the Hawk's carrying this party at the moment.
Right.
Dacia is going to immediately pull out her large weapon, which is going to be. It's technically two parts, but I hope it can also work as a. It works, okay.
So it's not that
So
it's
she
two
has.
parts, it's that it takes two loads. So if you have a normal load, you
Yeah.
hit one for your unusual weapon, you would take two more for your large weapon. So you only have two more boxes
Yes.
you could use for something else. But you totally
Okay,
have it.
cool. Yeah, no. So her large weapon is a large lobotomy, Orbia class and hammer.
What?
I've got an ice pick for lobotomies.
Yeah, basically.
This is where you pull one out from the side,
I'm
where you're
sure,
just like, I just have
I'm
one.
sure, because she's a consummate professional, that it is well sterilized.
Yes, of course. I say, like, flinging it. You see, like, some of the blood from earlier just, like, making contact with it. Yeah, it's, like, rusted. Yeah.
Perfect. What would you like to do with those?
I think I would like to, maybe roll finesse to try to get closer to these guys and maybe do a little attack.
Sure, finesse makes total sense to me because you want to make sure that you're not harming your friend who's right next to them. Totally get it. Go for it. Also, can I just say for the record, these ads are ridiculous. Like, is anybody else? I've gotten like 4 or 5 like 1 minute ads that interrupt the stream. Like, the Twitch is just.
I want to. Yeah, no, I hear you there. I'd also like to push that and take some stress.
Sure, yeah. 2 stress, you push yourself and get an extra die.
Okay. It was fucking worth it. I brought it up from a 2 to a 6.
Yeah, that's a big difference. That's a big difference.
It's these little bouncy dice. It's my like little silicone ones, and they glow in the dark.
They're so fun. I'm finding
No,
out
they
I
don't.
might be allergic to silicone
No.
from my Fitbit band. Anyway.
Oh, that's rough.
Maybe you're just allergic to exercising.
That's probably what it is. No, well, they make nylon ones, so it's okay. I just need to get a different one. But
it could.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be okay for the guy who's about to get lobotomized in the face. So you rolled a 6. You tell me how this goes. Are you actually trying? Like, you have the floor, madam. Please.
Yes.
Describe the scene.
I would say. Yeah, I think Dacia is going to cross, and as they're like going to like raise one of the pistols, she is going to go ahead and drive the weapon right through like their wrist area to immobilize the use of their dominant hand and kind of pin them against the wall for a spell.
That's exciting. Yeah. So you definitely do harm to this guy. So usually that kind of thing, there's kind of 2 ways that you can do harm to NPCs. One is like I track a clock in the background, and the other is like whenever it narratively makes sense, they die. Because we're on
Okay.
stream, I think rather than doing that, why don't we go ahead and have a 4-part clock? I just held up 3 fingers, goodness. A 4-part clock for each of these guards. We'll take 1 for this guard. Or, no, he's the
Okay.
one that just got punched in the face. Take 2 for this guard. That he's somehow incapacitated. Whether you guys kill him or not is up to y'all.
Okay.
But he's got 2 ticks. The other guard behind him does not have any ticks. And that's the way we'll do it because I don't want to have to track a bunch of stuff while I'm running a game for 4 people. You know, it's just
Very fair.
how that goes. So if we want, we can take the Dartmouth off the screen and put the guards on there. That works perfectly fine for me. And if you want, honestly, you can put both of them on the same or whatever. I don't care. We can figure it out. So you have put yourself in what this game would call a controlled position, where you have basically a bit of an upper hand here. There is still danger because there's a guy behind this guy with a gun. But this particular guy, for at least a moment, is like pinned to the wall by his hand, and he's not going to be able to shoot at you until he like gets that out and figured out and stuff. But you guys are not clear, and you don't know where Daryl is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to put both of them on a 6 clock?
Sure, that's perfect.
What do you want it to? What's the?
Tick 2 of them.
But what's the end game?
Oh, the guards go down. So
In
this
an
is really
earlier
the
round?
block.
Will they go
Say
down?
that again, Allie?
I said in an earlier round.
Yes. And Sugar, they're going down shooting.
They're not our number ones with a bullet. Hey!
Hey!
Oh, hero blart 2 out of 6. Okay, alright, so Hawk's doing his job, Nettle's doing his job. You other 2 layabouts, what's going on?
After Nettle pins the guy to the wall, and was that the hand that he had his gun in? So then, did he release it?
Sure, why not?
So then,
You rolled a 6.
right. So then, I would probably try to run over and just, recover the dropped pistol, and just so they can't pick it back up, and just trying to, because you see, Peebo isn't one to he doesn't really use guns, so he was just kind of taking it so they couldn't use it, but he wouldn't be firing it back at them. Yeah. The other guard, though, still has his gun and hasn't been dealt with at all.
Correct. Would you like to fix that?
I probably would, but yeah, people would probably try to go and see. I want to get that first gun, but I don't think he would. I think he would just go out and then see what's happening, and then just go try to disarm the second guard, seeing as the first one's already disarmed. Go out, try to smack the gun out of his hand, and still only left-handed because he's still bloodied and bruised from being attacked by a plant. And
I can't see any way this could go wrong. I think you should do it.
Yeah, I'm going to, and yeah, because he's probably gonna roll crappy and then get shot, but that's what he's gonna try to do. So I think that'd be a
or do a devil's bargain.
I will. No, I'm gonna try to roll skirmish just straight.
Okay.
I've been doing a few devil's bargains, and I don't want to. Haven't been able to roll yet, so.
I've been trying to do more devil's bargains where you guys just get the die rather than.
I know. But because I'm bruised, it's going to be less effective. I only got a 4.
Okay. So we'll say this: you rolled skirmish.
Yes.
Okay. So you do get up in his business. I think you guys are probably in a position where like he's got his gun in his hand like this, and you're like got his arm this way. So he's not going to be able to fire at your friends, but you haven't actually fully wrestled it away from him. But you are at least creating some barrier of chaos and potential safety for everybody else to do whatever it is that they're trying to do at the moment. You just need to stay engaged with this guy. So that is your reduced effect, we'll say. And
Okay.
the consequence is let's tick that ghost party and have some ghosts show up in the party. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so here's how this works. Your bestie, Daryl, comes back through the wall, and he has brought some friends with him. These friends look very similar to him and are, well, you guys have been studying the portrait, probably some of his like cousins or whatever. These are ghosts of the people that have recently died in this house, are loyal to the house and the family because they're part of it, and would like to protect it with whatever essence of humanity that they might have left. And as they come back with him, you see sort of a, and they turn towards where that vacuum was, I think we said. So Daryl himself is surveying the scene, and he's actually going to go towards Jakar because you have the mask at the moment. But the ghosts that are with him, I'll say there are 2 of them, are very extremely interested in Nettle at the moment because she smells so good. So Jakar, this is your time. What would you like to do?
See, unfortunately, I didn't really build myself for combat.
What did you build yourself for?
Doing drugs.
Yeah, pretty much.
You had some drugs on you?
Vibes, man, vibes.
So, one of the things on your character sheet as a bandolier, because you're a leech, and a bandolier means that you have, yours wouldn't be like bullets, yours would be like vials.
Yeah.
So you have 3 uses of frickin' whatever.
Well, 2, because I already used one.
Correct. Yes.
Where does Nettle have the vacuum?
I think it was in her hand,
Oh.
like her glove.
So I was gonna take it.
Also, because you're an alchemist, when you invent or craft a creation with alchemical features, take +1 result level to your roll. You begin with 1 special formula already known. I haven't bothered coming up with like specific formulas for you guys to like learn or whatever because that's granular and I don't care about it for how loose that we're playing. But you did have enough extra results with your glue that it happened at all. Basically. So if you are built for drug stuff, if you want to do drug stuff, you are welcome to do so.
So how big is this room? Is it like, and where is Evil Twin in comparison to us?
He has come through the same. Okay. How big is this room? I don't know what like a normal size living room is. What is it, like 15 feet or so? Is that? I'm not good at guessing things.
So if I was to say, I don't know, throw a grenade at him, would it kill all of us?
This is a rich people study. It's a big room. No, it wouldn't kill all of you.
All right. I'm gonna turn to him, seeing him with his little ghosty buddies, and
I do want to note he is still going through the floor and the wall and whatever, even without the spirit mask on. But you do see that his hand is on that satchel.
So I'm gonna, take the mask off, shake my head, look around, see what's going on, be like, okay, I'm gonna pull off a vial from my bandolier. I'm gonna shake it up real good, and I'm just gonna toss it over towards him. I'd love to use Tinker because I have more points in it, but I could also do Wreck because I'm trying to wreck his day.
I could see both. I mean, you are specifically, this is something that you have invented and crafted, so Tinker does make sense to me. It doesn't necessarily have to be a roll for the throw itself. You could be rolling for the effect of
To
the
make sure it actually works the way it's supposed to.
That
All right, I'm gonna go with
completely
Tinker.
fair.
Ooh, got a
Remember
1.
well, it's even, I guess, because you would have +1 result because you're an alchemist, but you have less effect because you're dazed right now.
Yeah.
So it's just straight up.
So I rolled a 1 and a 5.
Okay, those are different things. Okay, so a 5. You definitely hurt this guy. So let's go ahead and tick. We've got all the bad guys on 1 clock. That's fine with me. It's getting late. Let's go ahead and tick 2 on the bad guy clock as you severely wound Daryl and do literally nothing about the ghost because they do not care about percussive force at all. So they're still going towards Nettle, but Daryl, for the moment, who was really not expecting, like, that's not a normal thing to happen. You know, you just get exploded on right where you stand. Is we'll
He
say
started it by phasing through things, so.
right. He should have known. He should have known better. Daryl is knocked to the floor. He still has hold of his weapon and everything. He's just sort of like knocked back, hurt. I don't. I don't know what you threw at him. He might have like acid burns or something all over his clothes and face. Like it depends on what did you.
It's acid.
Just not that kind,
What about the satchel? Does he still have the satchel on him?
He does. He does still have the satchel on him. Are you going for it?
I'm not. Yeah.
No, you're not. You have a guard.
Can I go for it?
Yeah, you totally can. These ghosts basically are not paying any attention to you because they are looking directly at Nettle, like hungrily.
I know that
literally
feeling well.
walk right past them, and they sort of like will start turning, but then like it's almost like a magnet. They're being pulled to this vacuum. So you can go look through his satchel while he's like dazed. All that's in there is a book.
Well, I always said knowledge is power.
The more you know.
I think one of the things that you guys had learned during your initial thing was that they have a book called the Book of Walls.
And that was the inheritance.
That was like the thing that they were fighting over. Not that it was the only inheritance. Obviously, there's like money and the mansion and like other assets, but that was like the thing that everybody in the family wanted to be theirs. Kevin, you were not there for that, but your character would know it. So this is the Book of Walls, and you go, oh, Book of Walls, got it. This is probably the thing. Okay, got it. Probably how he's like going through walls and stuff is with this. There is blood on this book. There's like a handprint on it or whatever. So you get the idea there's probably some sort of attunement process or some sort of like incantation or something involved in order to get it to work. It's not just like, I'm the one holding this, I can go through the wall now. But you have it in your possession at least.
Okay.
He does not want you to have it in your possession, but we'll get to that in a moment because I want to ask Nettle what she's doing.
Oh, beautiful. I am happy to let you know. So, now that my weapon has pinned them against the wall, I see the ghosts start to form, and I'm going to look over and smile and go, oh, I'm so glad I brought this with me. And I'm going to pull out a large circular like vial. beaker, whatever the
Yeah.
they're called. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw it as hard as I can on the ground. You see, this right here is Dust Bust. And it's going to make the entire area anathema to the ghosts. With a wreck. That's my special ability.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the
So-
Ghost Ward, knowing how to wreck an area with arcane substances and methods. So it is either anathema or enticing to spirits, my choice.
So you can make it. I've always heard that word pronounced anathema.
Anathema. I always said anathema and found out that was wrong. Anathema, anathema. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. That's what happens when you're a book nerd growing up. It happens to all of us. So
Yeah, you're just like,
you
oh,
are wearing a vial of irresistible ghost cocaine, and then you are putting like bug spray all the way around it. I love this for you. Please roll wreck. Would you like to push yourself? Would you like to take 2 stress? Would you like to?
nope, because I just rolled a 6.
We'd love to see it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and put another clock, or put another tick on the bad guys go down clock, because these ghosts, can't stand this stuff. And this is a really sad time for Daryl, let me tell you, because,
Oh
and
no.
maybe a little bit also for me, because the ghosts didn't actually get to do anything fun. He thought they were really going to be able to help them, and then the second they got here, they have not even gotten near a single person, and they're like pest control flew in, and these ghosts, like, they don't, it's not that they evaporate, it's that they almost do that, like, you know, the classic Vampire in the Sun thing where they go and like sort of like
Oh yeah.
fog backwards. That's what happens. It almost like pushes them like a force, like a barrier out of the room, and they are pushed backwards, and you can't see them anymore. You don't know how, y'all don't know how far it pushed, but it seems like this was a pretty high effect, I would say, since this is Ghost Ward is your special ability. So Nettle would know that they are not a problem for the moment, and this whole area is sort of warded, that they're not going to come anywhere near you. So that is absolutely excellent. And now you still have 2 guards to contend with. So I'm going to come back to Hawk and Pivo, where you guys are kind of one-on-one doing your little tangos. What's going on with you?
You want to go first, Hawk, or you want me to?
Go for it, dude.
So, as Peebo has his hand kind of up. They're kind of wrestling back and forth, trying to get, Peebo's trying to get the gun out. He's trying to either aim it at someone else or at me or anything like that. Peebo's really just trying to, with his left arm, because his right arm's done, done for. He's barely even holding on, trying to kind of smack it against the wall a couple times, and then like alas, you can't get him to drop the gun, so then he'll just like let go quick and just try to punch him once in the gut to see if that could, surprise him enough to drop it, or if he's not going to get him to drop it. And...
Yeah, go for it. What are you're rolling skirmish still?
Instead of punching him in the gut, I was gonna roll skirmish him, but how about instead of punching him in the gut, he just pulls back and punches him, tries to punch him square in the face, and I'm gonna roll a wreck to try to wreck him. I got a 6.
You got a 6 to wreck him. Alright. You punch this guy directly in the face. I'm gonna say that he is incapacitated, but I'm not going to check the clock because it's not like all of them are down at the moment, but you do have one fewer guy to deal with. I was really hoping that I would be able to shoot one of you, but maybe later. How about this? His arm swings wildly because you got a 6, and instead of making you roll a d4 to see which one of you he shoots, he actually hits Daryl in the leg instead. So Daryl, is not having a very good day and is now not able to stand up anymore. So he still has a sword on him, but like he's not as much of a threat, we'll say. He's slightly more neutralized than he already was because he's concussed. So now he's concussed and shot. And this one guard slumps to the ground unconscious. You heard that like crunch as his nose broke and it's like kind of bleeding, and it probably like that's what caused him to go unconscious. It's just he's not going to have a good time at all. There is one guard left who has now like unpinned his hand, and it's bleeding and it's not doing well, but he sees the situation and he's now like, all right, fight or flight, I gotta get out of here or I'm gonna die. And he's gonna do like anything he can for that to not happen to him. So this dude's in like a very desperate position. Hawk, tell me how you're dealing with that.
Attack of opportunity.
Wrong game. Next.
Wrong game. I'm on the wrong character sheet. Would there be a possibility of me using You know what? If he's running up the stairs and going, like if he's dropped his weapon and running.
Well, I didn't say that, but we'll see.
Oh, I thought you said he dropped his weapon. I have a question.
Yes.
Where is Henrietta?
Where is Henrietta Nettle?
In my rucksack.
Crap.
Wrapped in like a baby Bjorn.
Nestled. Softly, gently, nurturing them.
Nestled with nettles.
That sucks.
Are you going after this guy?
Yeah, I will, what would Prowl be? Like, could I use Prowl to trip him?
So, Prowl is when you are sneaking around undetected. If you're going after him, that would actually be more like a hunt.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But if you're trying to whip around in front of him, to that you could make a I could go for finesse, or we could do a devil's bargain, or you could
yeah, maybe I don't trip him, but I just block the stairs. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do a finesse to just step in front of the stairs going up.
To try and outpace him there.
No, that is 2 3s.
2 3s.
We're gonna set those aside.
Well, everyone else is completely incapacitated. You do not make it to the stairs before this guard. He gets away from you. I'm going to say that this is the end of your night for the evening. That will be a consequence for a later date. That this dude gets away. He knows that you were here. He knows what has happened tonight. So I think we're going to sort of, that's where we're going to fade to black, is you try and run up the stairs and you try and outpace him, and you like come around a corner and the hallway's already empty and you're just like, damn it. And he's gone. But you guys were successful in figuring out what the heck happened here and figuring out if it's clear for the Bluecoats to come in safely. I'd say probably no. That's something that you can discuss with your
contact,
with your newfound friend contact, Officer Pendrin, at a later time. So downtime, by the way, we've been streaming the scores, and we're going to do downtime as a play-by-post on the Discord. So if you're interested in how downtime goes, you can always join the Discord later. And then it's available for other people to see, even though only the players can interact with it. So that's how that's going to go. This is going to be a later problem, is what your threes get you. But for now, your score was successful. You lived. Peebo had to go. He's got a sick son at home, so Brett had to leave
Yeah,
up early.
Brett has a son that they believe he's coming down with strep. So apparently, his presence was required elsewhere.
But you were successful. You walk away with the spirit mask, with Henrietta, with some other random rich people and occult accoutrement that we will deal with later. I will say that let's just go with the other random valuables come out to 2 coin, we'll say, that you've stolen. But the real treasure here, well, for you is Henrietta, and the mask for Jakar, but you also have this book that you're going to be able to look into and see if it's something of interest to sell, maybe.
Now, is Daryl like
unconscious on the ground?
But he's a physical being. He's a
correct.
person.
He is a human. Yes. I mean, as far as you know, he's human.
Well, we need to drag him out of there, because that was the whole point of us going in there, was to find out what happened to him, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you can drag him back out. You can talk to Pendragon. We're not Pendragon, Pendrin.
Yeah.
We're not gonna like role play that whole.
Yeah, we don't have to.
But,
I'm just saying,
you know,
like,
cut to a scene where we see you in the background talking to him, and he kind of like nods and his
yeah,
voice
I'm not
takes
being
over.
gentle with him. I'm like, I've got his ankle and dragging
Yep.
him up those stairs one at a
Yep.
time. It's not a thing of there's no role play there, but
Pendrin is I wouldn't say grateful, but possibly I might go so far as to say impressed. He thinks you did a job, and that's all he needed. The job was done.
Take it. I'll take it.
You didn't light the house on fire?
Yet.
Yeah.
So I would call
okay.
this one successful. We will get into downtime and consequences and repercussions of long-term actions and stuff later. But for tonight, that's your first score, everybody.
Yay!
Nobody
Thank you,
even
Jenna.
got it.
Yeah. And
So yeah, and the whole plan of what we're doing here with this is we won't necessarily be back with more Blades next week, but we will be back with more Blades. It may be a different crew. You may
It'll be
see
the same
some
crew with different players.
Well, yeah, so it'll be the carrying crew, but there'll be different characters revolving in and out. You may see me, you may not see me, you may see Kev, you may not see Kev. But yeah, we will definitely be coming back to this. We have several people in the guild that are excited about Blades and want to get into Blades. So this is something we will definitely be getting back into eventually. Just may not be straight up next week. So yeah, with that, everybody give your exit good nights. Kev.
Once again, Mjolnir Press on most socials. Yeah, it was fun. Now I'm starting to think of a score that I could do for BladesInTheDark on top of the 10 million other RPG related things I have in my brain. So thank you for that, Jenna. Ruined it. Scott's gonna be very mad at me because I'm not paying attention to the other things.
We have already discussed. I do not need to be the only GM, and I have a character made in this crew, but I have ideas for 3 characters. So I know James wants to run one, but anybody who wants to run it, this carrying crew is flexible.
Yeah,
I'll be down.
This is straight up a guild game where it's a different GM, different players, different you know, and like Jenna said, I know James is wanting to run a game, so it may be James running next time we get together with this. Uh, Allie, we missed you in the intro, so do your thing.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Allie Capone from FGP. You guys can go ahead and catch us on Sunday at 8 Eastern Standard Time as we kick off Girl by Moonlight, also known as Trinity Division X, Solar Pop Revolution 6, a Girl by Moonlight stream for Them Gamer Party, or the acronym that I'm not even going to say because it's too much. We are kicking that off. I am cranking out so much art that my elbow will not stop popping. So definitely swing on by before y'all head over here for some Random Encounters Guild gaming. And then on Tuesday, this Tuesday, you can actually follow Southtown Comic on Twitch because we are going to be streaming a community night. We're inviting our friends and family and supporters and Kickstarter backers to play some Jackbox games with us. So swing on by our Discord server to stay updated on the comics. And yeah, feel free to pop in for some shenaniganizing. That's what I got going on this week.
Jenna.
I'm Jenna. I have been the DM for now, and I hope to be playing some of this later. I'm also going to be a player in the Girl by Moonlight game. I've got the same things going on as Allie, basically. So if you're interested in games that are not even a little bit at all like Blades in the Dark and are actually like fun, lighthearted children's game about ocean animals, then you should check out my itch game, Mission Impossible. That's it. That's all I got. So, thanks.
And
Brett
Brett
has his own channel
yes.
That we stream on sometimes, and I am also on that. We're trying to get the Tales of the Valiant game back together, and then maybe Kevin will actually join us this time instead of just being my ghost brother.
Maybe I'll be able to join. We'll see.
Maybe.
Once the check clears, I can let you know better.
But that's yeah. So that's Brett. He's AWAR and not AWAR in chat. You can go follow him, and sometimes he will play. There you go, Scott.
And I am Scott, Guildmaster Scott. I run things over at the Random Encounters Guild. If you're interested in joining us, feel free. We're a welcoming community, a bunch of cool people. Jenna, thank you. This has been a blast. I look forward to more of this, whether I'm playing in it or not. We'll definitely be going further into this story.
This is my second successful score. The first one being the one where you guys lit the boat on fire.
Yeah, and jumped off the edge of the boat while it was on fire.
And freeze frame.
Oh yeah, it was totally a cinematic like a thing coming off of that boat. But yeah, this is a fantastic game. We're really enjoying it. This Sunday night we will be playing Ragnaborg, which is a Viking hack of Morkborg. By the way, did any of you look at that Punk is Dead backer kit that I posted in the chat this afternoon? There's a game coming out. It's a Morkborg game. It's called Punk is Dead. And you're in a punk band in Britain in the 70s. And like part of the game is you write songs. There's a songwriting journal in the Kickstarter. And the GM screen is a gatefold album cover that then the albums come out and like give you the extra space of the GM screen.
That's amazing.
I put the link in the guild chat. Go look at it. It looks incredible. It looks so cool. But yeah, Sunday night we're playing Ragnaborg. We'll probably be wrapping that up, and after that, I haven't decided what we're going to do following that for a random game. It may be the game that Kevin and I are writing together. It's been a few weeks since we run a play test of that, so I may do some kind of a. We'll see. Or well, Kevin may want to run something. I know you were talking about running
Yeah, I've been
something
working.
as
I've
well.
been working on something. Yeah.
So we may bring that back out, but if we don't feel like it's ready, who knows? I may bring back some. I've had some requests for Cyborg. I picked up the quick start of Cyberpunk Red the other night. So we have a few options for things we may jump into. But yeah, we are working on a game of our own that we're very excited about, and you'll probably be seeing more of that this year. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed the game, and we will see you Sunday night for Ragnarborg. If I don't see you before then with some video game shenanigans, but we will definitely see you Sunday night for more Ragnarborg. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.